And this here, Greg Emir with your track and field hub. I changed the name from Greg Emir Life on the Go. Cannot make it more specific to track. But as you can see here, U.S. Olympic medalist Fred Kerley arrested on stun gun during confrontation with police. And this is from CNN, as I see the clip. All right, I'm going to come back to this so y'all can watch it. We all can watch it together. All right, and very disturbing because, you know, there's a lot of police confrontation in this country. I'm an Olympian and I represented Jamaica, 2 Olympics, 1984 and 1988. A silver medalist from 1984 in the 4x100 meter relay ran the second legs when Carl Lewis and Sam Grady and Ron Brown and Calvin Smith was on that team. And me and Raymond Stewart was the 2 high schoolers, right, with Donald Quarry and Albert Lawrence that got second. But anyway, that's just to give you a little bit background of why I'm doing this. And it says here, but I know everybody's probably heard in the track and field community, but it says U.S. Olympic sprinter Fred Kerley was a confrontation with police officers in Miami, now facing charges of battery, resisting orders, and disorderly conduct according to authorities. Wow. So police later released body camera footage of the incident. It shows Kerley, who won a bronze medal in men's 100 meter at the 2024 Paris Olympics, approached by police officers. One officer raised the hand that pushes sideways against Kerley's chest. Kerley bats the hand away before an arm pushes Kerley and an altercation starts. So they're pushing and shoving this man just for coming up to them to talk to them. He was probably just saying, just let me go to my car. I just want to get to my car. I don't care what you guys are doing. But, you know, cops, you know, they're in this power thing, you know, power trip. It is impossible to hear what is being said as there is no sound on the video until the physical confrontation begins. Of course, you know, make you wonder, what were they saying? Stop resisting. That's the famous things that they use. Several officers pushed Kerley to the ground in the struggle, and one appears to hit him multiple times. In the arrest record, police say 2 officers lost their footing and fell on their backs, and that Kerley fell on top of them. An officer then deploys a dart-firing stun gun on Kerley, who falls to the ground after being hit. Kerley's defense attorney, Yale Sanford, told CNN in a statement that the body cam footage is obscene. It just goes to show you that no matter how hard you work, how many medals you earn for your country, and how many people across the globe you inspire, in Miami Beach, Mr. Kerley was treated like millions of African-American males and females around the country with lack of humanity, compassion, or respect, he said. It is important for our community and country to be aware of these actions by police so that we can make sure this type of behavior is prevented in the future. There's a still image on body camera footage. Officers conducted an active investigation when Kerley approached them, concerned about his vehicle, which was parked in the area. Christopher Best, a spokesperson for the Miami Beach Police Department, told CNN. Best alleged that Kerley disregarded lawful commands. Well, why did you have to give him lawful command? He's just concerned about his car. And physically pushed one of the uniformed officers before resisting the officer's attempt to detain him. So you see, that's the police view. The quick review of what I saw in this video clip earlier is like, it looked like the push started by the cop first, like, get out of here, man. But anyway, and of course, resisting arrest. You're resisting arrest. Kerley was taken to a local hospital before going to Turner Gulford Night Correctional Center. The arrest record said he then appeared in Miami-Dade County Court on Friday afternoon, according to court record. His attorney criticized police conduct. CNN affiliate WPSG reported. Kerley is scheduled to appear in court again on Sunday in an unrelated case. I don't know what that is. He is facing charges of robbery and domestic battery after his wife alleged he circled his arm around her neck and impeded her breathing during an argument in May 2024, per an arrest record filed with the Miami-Dade Police Department, which also alleged that Kerley took away her cell phone and drove off. USA Track and Field declined to comment when contacted by CNN. Wow. So you see, all this other stuff happened. You know, normally when they're investigating you and they arrest you, they start to look for other reasons to justify why they, you know, you were worthy of an arrest. But and that's what they do. You know, you might have something totally unrelated, but they want to justify their moment with you to say, see, he's a bad person anyway, look at what he does. Not to condone what he does. If he in fact allegedly, I'm going to say he allegedly, no, it's in the bottom of the report, have some kind of altercation with his wife that didn't turn out to be good in the track and field world. So we don't know what's going on in the life of track and field athletes. They have, you know, stuff going on mentally, and, you know, sometimes we just need psychological help, man. And, you know, a lot of men, especially in the black men, even with the Latino, Caribbean men, I'm from Caribbean, we tend to want to think nothing is wrong with us, that we don't need any help or need to see a psychologist to seek help before we do something drastic, you know? So this might have been something leading into that, but let me see what this video shows. Let me get the volume going first.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something.
Wow.
U.S. Olympic sprinter Fred Kerley was arrested and stun-gunned by Miami police. He is facing charges of battery, resisting officers, and disorderly conduct, according to Miami Beach Police Department. Kerley's defense attorney told CNN in a statement, quote, "It just goes to show that no matter how hard you work, how many medals you earn for your country, how many people across the globe you inspire, in Miami Beach, Mr. Kerley was treated like millions of African Americans, male and female, around the country, with a lack of humanity, compassion, or respect." Authorities said Kerley approached officers during an unrelated investigation in an area where his car was parked. A spokesperson for the Miami Beach Police Department said Kerley, quote, disregarded lawful commands and physically pushed one of the uniformed officers. Kerley won a bronze medal in the men's 100 meter at the 2024 Paris Olympics.
That's the end of that. Look like the guy pushed him and he just triggered him and he started fighting. You know, and of course, you know, let me shrink this back down. Sometimes when you're dealing with cops, no matter what you're going through, you want to be respectful yourself. I used to be a cop, you know, before, you know, while I was military at the same time. I was in the reserve and I became a cop, you know, end up being, that was, you know, I had to survive, man. I was in different jobs and doing sales, and then the company went on that, so started doing security work, ended up being a cop. So I'm inside, and sometimes when people come up to cops, you're as a black officer, sometimes they still don't trust you. They see you like you just the establishment, the man just there to oppress them. And you know, I always try to show respect. When I was a cop, I used to be called officer friendly because you know, my fellow cops criticize me that I'm too soft or, you know, I need to be more aggressive. And I'm like, no, our job is to work with the community, work with people and de-escalate as best as possible. I'm a peace officer first. You know, I'm trying to be proactive and get to understand people, even when they're cussing me out. You know, law enforcement, you have to have a thick skin. You can't just be pissed off and be on this power trip because you carry a gun and a badge. And you try to work with people first and talk to them as much as you can, find out as much as you can, de-escalate them as much as you can before you have to go to a reactive mode after you tried everything. Sometimes you might have to go reactive right away because it depends on the circumstances. If the person wielding a gun and threatening to great bodily harm to you, you know, you have to be ready. And I guess not to watch what I said with certain words. No, when you're doing YouTube, I guess because you have to use. I guess no people are saying unalive and all that kind of stuff, which always happening in confrontation when black men, black women too, confront cops, and before you know it, you're unalive. I think there was a football player in Miami. I forgot his name. Famous guy too. He was going to the game and he got stopped for, I don't remember what it was, but then he had a confrontation, and they arrested him and everything, and they knew who he was. But in the track and field community, a confrontation with cops who maybe don't know anything about track and field, don't even follow the sport, not going to know that you're an Olympian, gold medalist, world record holder, or world champion or whatever, win 10 gold medals or whatever. Especially if you're black, maybe they might recognize you or something. I don't know. But sport, nobody really follows track and field. Hey, more information about golf and tennis before you see track and field. Only track and field get noticed is when the Olympics come around, World Championships. And maybe sometimes like the NCAA championship comes out and it get a little televised recognition. But any other coverage of track and field is like minimal to none. Networks are not following all the track meets throughout the year, leading up to championship event, conference championships, NCAA championships. You see they do that with football, weekend after weekend, and follow football like they follow, professional football. They follow in every game, and you might have several several TV stations covering several events. But track and field, we don't get that. And if you do have someone covering it, it might be a web streaming thing that you have to pay for, and it's not really advertised. Nobody knows about it. It's just word of mouth, and just people who love track and field follow it like me. And you might pay for the service. I try to catch a free streaming thing sometimes that offer on track and field. But it's crazy, man. Anybody that's watching this now, I'm not going to respond to any comments at this moment because I don't really do a lot of live, but I had to cover this one. And I'll read the comments later on, I guess, if I'm able to. I just wanted to talk about this because, man, you see, it looked like after he got that shove, it ticked him off, it set him off, and he started fighting. But, if he interrupted our active crime scene or whatever was going on, he also need to learn how to de-escalate. Or we as black men got to know how to be professional too, because I'm no longer a cop, and I could be respectful and everything and follow their orders or whatever if they're doing something. I'm not going to try and interrupt that. I'm just going to walk around and like, okay, officer, all right. Where else can I go to get to my car? And they might be disrespectful. And I'm going to say, man, you don't have to be so disrespectful, but then move off or whatever. You might say that when the officer decide to confront you, a lot of them, they be escalating things to a whole other level. So black ones will do that too. They're not officers. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, I can speak on this as an Olympian and a track and field man because, unless, like track and field on a whole just don't get the recognition, man. That's why I have to admire what Michael Johnson is trying to do, and I hope it expands and they'll do something for field events eventually. And as you can see, the Diamond League is already pushing competition to challenge what Michael Johnson is doing, to compete with him, so he doesn't cut too much into their space. But I wish, as a black man, I wish Michael Johnson all the best of success with this, because he's doing something for track and field that was long needed, and other people, doing things to try and promote themselves. Noah Lyles with Benjamin Ryan and Grant Holloway, they have a podcast now. You got Ready, Set, Go with Justin Gatlin, and Asafa Powell got a channel now and all, even though he does different things. And I do my little thing with my small followers, but I'm not active all the time. But it's about the season is pretty much here now, so I'm about to be more active again. But I don't know what's going on with Kerley's personal life. You know, you've heard Noah Lyles talk about his own depression and other things, and he's not shy about it. And a lot of athletes, we don't know what they go through in their personal lives, and we sometimes need to, as black men, seek out the help. We come from, it's a cultural thing. Because me coming from Jamaica, you know, a lot of Jamaican men won't seek help. They won't even talk to a pastor. We just pretend everything is all right. They don't want to project this strong image. We're strong men. We don't need any help. You know, even though I think that's changing slowly but surely. But I feel it for Kerley, man. You know, sometimes you can do everything right, show respect to the cops. It's just a matter of which cop do you encounter. And in this era that we're living in now, where, you know, political unrest that's going on here in America now, you know, who's back in office? Trump is back in office, and, you know, he's big on police being very aggressive with people. And I don't think, see, and all they're going to do is be aggressive with black people. It's probably going to get worse now. There's some good cops out there, but there's a lot of cops who shouldn't be cops. And they don't realize you serve the community first, and you want to show respect. And you don't know the mental state of people when they're coming to you, you know. Until they show that they're a great threat to you, it's going to maybe create great bodily harm to you and cause you to be unalive or somebody else to be unalive. You know, then you do your reactive thing how you were trained, but you still have to follow your police training. There's policies and procedures that every police department have that you got to follow when it comes to rules of engagement and confrontation and all that. So it's sad to see that happen to Fred Kerley. That a lot of athletes go through a lot of different things for different reasons. But I hope this thing work out for the best for Kerley, and that it doesn't ruin his career. Up in jail for no period of time, because now he has this thing now at the very bottom, man, about wrapping his hands around his wife. To be honest with you, I didn't even know Kerley was married. Didn't even know he was married. Of course, ironically, they throw that in there. Because when cops arrest you, and they want, maybe after they find out who you are and they write up the report, they have to write it now and include other things. The sergeant say, hey, we found out that he has another case going on. Make sure you include that in this so we can justify how this man was the one who was not wrong, how he came at us, you know. He probably had this stuff going on and he wanted to release his anger on the cops, and he wouldn't obey any commands we give him. And we don't know if this is the beginning of it, but you see what it says down here. He has an unrelated case. He is facing charges of robbery and domestic battery after his wife alleged he circled his arm around her neck and impeded her breathing. During an argument in May, the man went to the Olympics, got a bronze 100, almost got a silver. He could have gotten a gold and my Jamaican counterpart, Kishian Thompson. It was close. So I wish all track athletes would seek help. You know what I'm saying? If you're going through something, don't have a confrontation with the cops. Seek help, man. You know, you go to the Olympics and then it doesn't look like, I don't know, you know, if he was seeking help after that. You know, we don't know what's what, you know, that's going to have to play out in court. You know, you hear both sides. Like I believe there's always both sides to the stories. But what we do as human beings is we judge, you know. And because cops have such a bad negative outlook, you know, we tend to feel like the cops are just going overboard. But we don't know before the cameras start capturing everything if they were just trying to tell him, look, you can't come this way. And he just insisted he's going to come through that way. Maybe his mental state was just so far gone at that point that he, you know, being that he was still dealing with probably what's going on that he still have to face with his wife, going to court on that. But man, I didn't know Kerley had so much issues going on as far as that. And see to the near end, because the report, I actually saw it on the Instagram on the Jamaica, where he didn't go into all this other stuff about his wife. So that's very concerning. What y'all think, ladies and gentlemen? You think Kerley should have just obeyed the commands and just walk away, or the cops really escalated when he was talking to them, just pushed him? Or was he really trying to, after the cops trying to be, good to him and just tell him, hey, just back away. You can't get through this way to your car. Go around, and he just looked like he maybe tried to push his way through. And if he did try to do that, then you're wrong, Because if a cops tell you they have something going on, you can't come this way, you got to comply with that, man. You see people there in the recording, videoing and all that, but, it's unfortunate, and I hope he seeks help. All of us need help, man. All of us got something going on personally. None of us perfect. But, when you're dealing with any issues, man, you got to seek help, man. Find a good friend to talk to before you do something drastic. Sometimes you don't have money in the heat of the moment, and somebody to pull you back and say, no, But when you're mentally gone like that, man, it's like with nobody there to pull you back, that's the end result. So I really feel it for Kerley, man, and I'm not going to say he's just being arrogant and I'm an Olympian. Don't you know who I am? I don't think he was like that. I think Kerley was dealing with a lot of issues. Like you have some athletes, they might have that thing like, don't you know who I am? And, there are some other people like rich folks, you know who my dad is? Like the one guy that drove and unalive a bunch of people, and they said he was suffering from influenza, at least the judge. I've never heard of nothing like that. But I just want to do this quick thing on that, man. And, I guess now we're following this. Track and field season is here. So we'll be seeing who is going to be rising. I don't know if this is going to ruin Kerley's career, but can get through this when you get through, get some help, Because it's not good. It's not being weak to the point where you do stuff and you end up in prison. Fred Kerley, U.S. Olympic medalist. Wow. All right. Man, so, that's that. And I wish him all the best. And I hope he can survive this.